Good.
Hey everybody, this is Wendy Narad broadcasting live from Sugar Falls, and you can see I'm getting tired here. Was fighting off a cold, so feeling better, but just here to share information about the Vincina Protocol and what we're about. And a lot of people say, "What's a Vincina?" Well, Vincina was the young lady's name who passed of Lou Gehrig's disease, and the Vincina Protocol is a project dedicated to building awareness around Lou Gehrig's disease. We have the intention of going out into the world in numbers, and we are hoping that you will join us. Our goal is to find out how we can motivate the public to push doctors and medical professionals to write a protocol for this treatment and diagnosis, because Vincina, her nickname was Squeak, so we'll call her Squeak, went undiagnosed for 3.5 years. So you know, we believe that it was a environmentally induced illness, and there's so much talk about, bacteria in the water, and with Louisiana, with Sugar Falls, with Sebring, Ohio, with Flint, Michigan. And our intention is to get out there and build awareness about that as well and try to get something done. So I'm here with Mike Helfenstein, who is Squeak's husband, and he is the creator of the Vincina Protocol and the mastermind about getting this project out into the masses and just changing people's lives. So with that, I'll introduce Mike.
Thank you, Wendy. We've done a series of episodes to lay out the basis for the Vincina Protocol. I think we're up to about 10 episodes. I haven't been counting, but it feels like 10.
Something like that, yeah.
And what we're doing tonight is just kind of giving an overview for the public. We've laid out a lot of information over the last 10 episodes. We've brought in a lot of guests. And again, just to lay the thinking on our part so that the public can maybe take a view, take an idea that we have presented, and maybe tell the story of that specific idea that connected with that particular person who reviewed any one of our episodes. So tonight, all I want to do is just kind of do a replay and talk about what we have done from last week's episode to tonight. And so we've been counting a specific approach, and we are in day 8 of a specific scenario that we were trying to achieve, and we've done so. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to ask you questions so that the public can kind of get an idea as to what we do every day in and out.
Gotcha.
So when we did our episode last week, we were pleasantly surprised that we maxed out on
we blew it up.
The bandwidth was completely consumed because we had too many people coming on and linking up with us to speak to us. We didn't foresee that occurring.
Yeah, we had a few technical difficulties because of that.
So talk to me about it. What was that like for you?
Well, it's really amazing to me to find how many people are really interested in this. And it's actually interesting to find how many people aren't. Kind of sounds a little contradictory, but the exciting part is that our goal is to get as many people involved as we can, because things happen in numbers. And having our bandwidth used up so that it crashed the site was pretty exciting, because this process has, it's been a little frustrating getting people to listen, so there was some good with it and some bad, I guess.
And I think what we've done is we love to react to a crisis. We have many, and thereby it becomes a challenge every day behind the scenes to correct those issues.
Sure.
We took, basically, it took us 8 days to put this deal together, but we went to a company and we said to this company, hey, we're just doing a Google Hangout. We've had a lot of fun with it. We brought in a bunch of sponsors. They liked it. What was it like when I went to you and said to you, Wendy, I've got a company that's going to give us a huge platform on Google and giving us the ability to present our concept
Right.
and present it in a way that it becomes a teaching device.
Well, I always tease you about trucks all over the US. um, that's kind of a personal joke between Mike and I because, he made a commitment to Squeak that he was going to explode the Vincina protocol. And so this deal, I think, will help us do that. It is imperative that we get this project to a national level. And so, we're working on limited budgets and so on and so forth. I mean, we film off, a cell phone and a Google Hangout app. So, which is fine, that's okay. But we are really excited to be able to expand that platform, expand our viewership and our partnerships and our participation. And that is what's going to, this new project that, or platform, I should say, is what's going to take this project to a whole new height and awareness level. So I'm excited about that.
This platform, they hope to have it set up for us in about 48 hours. So we're happy about that. It's going to give everybody an idea that they can come onto this Vincina Protocol University, is what we're going to identify it to
Good
be,
name.
that individuals anywhere in the world will be able to come up to this site and read our journal page by page
Right.
at their leisure and at their ability to consume information and study it, and then be able to present to us what they got out of it
Yeah.
and suggestions.
So I just want to kind of, interrupt and let the public know what our journal is. I mean, this journey, if you will, that Mike and Squeak were on started way before Squeak's illness. And so Mike is a fastidious documenter of all sorts of, experiences, including interviews that he's had. And when Squeak got sick, he documented what the experience was like, what the doctor said, what the treatment was like. He documented everything. There's some amazing things in this journal. There are some sad things in this journal. There are some really interesting things in this journal. There is, we talk about corruption. If you've seen any of our broadcast, there's a lot of corruption. There are interviews with people that collaborate and prove our corruption theory, our contaminated water theory. There's so much in this journal. So I just kind of wanted to clarify how exciting this is, because it's not just some boring book. It's literally amazing excerpts of life.
So you were the first one to read the data book.
Right.
And I literally just walked over to your office and placed it on your desk. And I left the office with the data book on your desk, knowing that you would read it at some point in time. Tell me what it was like when you picked it up. Did you just leave it on the desk and
Well,
get to it
it was a
later?
little bit overwhelming because it's pretty big, but some of the stuff that I read, I kind of concentrated on about 100 pages. It's kind of skipped around, but some of it was really, really sad. Some of it was really crazy, like emails from the EPA that were basically like, sorry, there's nothing we can do. Yeah, you're kind of on our list. To a mastermind plan to build wealth and solve problems. So it was intriguing, a little overwhelming, but pretty intriguing.
Now, getting into that, I mean, there's literally, we've got several publications that actually help the viewer understand what they are reading. So that was kind of unique, creating a companion book
Right.
that supports the data book. So you had the inside understanding of what the business model was all about.
I did.
Tell me how that business model, when you were reading it, how did it affect you?
Well, being a business owner myself, it was pretty fascinating. I think it was hard to understand at first, and I've tried to share that with some people, and they kind of look at me a little crazy, but I think the concept is spot on, and basically, in essence, it just takes some faith and some trust and a little bit of understanding, and I don't know. I think that I'm losing my train of thought.
Well, let me ask
What do
another
you want to know
question.
specifically?
When you were reading the data book, it gave reference to a story regarding Cincinnati,
Yeah.
and it tells the story of me sending a proposal to Cincinnati. Can you elaborate on that rather than me just give you words to have you follow?
Well, going back to the point, we went to Cincinnati, and the whole point of the Vincina Protocol is to build a team and a community, and so we have been successful in Ohio in doing that. Kind of merged our Northern Ohio, Cincinnati teams together, and so we're pretty excited about that. And taking that to the Cincinnati team and them totally getting this business proposal part of the Vincina protocol was exciting. Um, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to work with them, and I'm excited to bring that to the table. And I think they're getting it. I think they get the concept. I think I mean, they flat out said they're on board, and we're ready to blow this thing up.
Now, you've seen the effect when we brought just our team into Cincinnati. It was a very interesting moment when both teams converged onto one Hope Arena,
Yeah,
which has a seating capacity of 2,000 chairs.
correct.
What was that like when you walked in and you met the owner of the Hope Arena?
Well, the energy there is amazing. The intelligence of, because again, this is a little bit of a kind of an odd concept to get. Um, those people are sharp, and they got it right away, and they were excited, and that we're talking about Lou Gehrig's disease, we're talking about ALS, and we're talking about contaminated water, and a lot of people like don't get how you put those two together and marry this into a business proposal. Like how does that work? These guys get it, and it's exciting. It took some studying. It took, on my part, it took some patience and some studying. But I think about it like when I went back to trying to get my insurance business. Look, I was in the television industry. I wasn't. I knew nothing about insurance. I wanted my agent to provide me an ID card and make sure I was covered. So I started from scratch. And I really dedicated myself to that and built a business 8 years later. And I think that that's the same thing with the Vincina Protocol. You have to understand it. You have to study it. Anything um, that you that's new to you, you have to study. And so I did that. And I think that there are people out there that are hungry for something different, to stand for something in their lives. Like life can get rote and boring and mundane, and um, I saw this as an opportunity to do amazing things in the world and benefit from a business standpoint. And a business owner, you know, will see that. They'll see that.
You met a lot of business people in Cincinnati that day, um, and they purposely took you to the side and they asked you a lot of questions
Yeah,
about Mike Helfenstein.
sure.
How did you explain why you were there to this group?
Well, Mike, a lot of people question me about you. What are your intentions? What are you about? Um, you seem complicated to people and confusing. So, I feel like my job, uh, I kind of agree in my own way, get people to understand this project and you, and try to take the complicated out of it, I guess. So, sort of a mediator, I suppose. Um, and I think that I did a good job of that. I think people really get this project. I think that um, the Cincinnati team gets it.
Okay,
I really
okay.
do.
The in the trip going back to Chagrin Falls,
Hmm.
there was a lot of conversation going on in the car.
Yeah,
There was a lot of energy in the car. There was only three of us,
right.
Bobby,
Yeah.
yourself, and what was I like inside the car while you two were really hopped up on energy? And you asked me a lot of questions. Do you
Hmm.
remember any of those questions? Do any of those questions come to mind?
Hmm. Specifically? No, I mean, Bobby and I were just really excited that the meeting went well. I think we wanted to know what the next step was and what do we do next? Because you are the mastermind behind the project.
Now you say, let me interject. You say mastermind. That's kind of weird. Um, the um, um, the opinion of City Council Conneaut, Ohio, they never put mastermind behind my name.
Nuisance, maybe?
Nuisance was the word that
Probably.
I
Public
received.
nuisance in Conneaut?
It was difficult for Conneaut
Sure.
City Council. Um, it's kind of remarkable today of discussion that I had with city officials in 1990 concerning our drinking water quality in Conneaut, my ability to connect with certain manufacturing companies, and my ability to take that information and give it to City Hall.
Yeah. You
Uh,
poked the bear.
so what was that? You read that, and it hasn't come out yet, but you found it to be very interesting on how
Was.
I could discuss something in 1990
Yeah.
and have it come true today after the January 16th health assessment audit of the water treatment
Yeah.
plant. What do you say to the public?
Well, you poked the bear. Um, in way back when you were looking at this as an issue, and that issue is exploding, like I said in the beginning of this, all over the US: Flint, Michigan, Sebring, Ohio, Chagrin Falls, Ohio. And my projection is that we will have a new conversation about every other week in the news with another county, another city, with people standing there outraged, just like you were in 1990 about the quality of the drinking water, saying, city officials, what are we going to do about this? What are we going to do about this? People standing there with their little bottles of water that look like mud. It's crazy. So I think that you ruffling those feathers, and interestingly, still nothing is done about it, is a sad state of affairs. People, pretty sad state of affairs.
Now, when I came to you being a successful um, um, personality in the TV business,
Hmm.
that's basically when we first met.
Hmm.
And I remember walking into a hotel at the Cuyahoga Falls, I think it was the Marriott.
I think so, by the water.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so I and my wife Squeak, we walked up to you. You were waiting for us to get there. Um, what was that? What was going through your mind? Can you remember what year that was?
It was about what, 5, 6 years ago,
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay, so you remember.
Oh yeah, of course I remember.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, your family's awesome.
Now, from that point, we reconnect um, relative to building a new business model. And I remember you had left the TV business,
Yes.
and I remember you had been working on this insurance agency. So here you are, a successful personality in the TV business on Channel 19 in Cleveland. Did I say that right?
Well, you did, but I don't know about successful
Well,
personality.
I
I
said it,
might have been a success in my own mind for sure.
and you obviously was a success in my family's mind. So
There you
uh,
go.
I did write you into the data book at that time, did I not?
Yes, yeah. Part of the
And
story.
it's kind of crazy that here we are. We are now excited about this business model
Yeah.
that has been basically captured, and I've inserted it into the data book. Now, the business model is very confusing, and we won't discuss it tonight.
Yeah.
But
It's pretty intense.
the the purpose for the question is I have shared that concept with the Cincinnati team.
Yes.
How did
Specifically.
they respond when you said that you were going to spearhead the business model?
Um, I think they were all very positive and receptive. I mean, like I said, I mean, a couple people come to mind very specifically that I think are business minded, particularly Barry. He really gets this. He really understands how it works, and I think, quite honestly, there's going to be a lot of money that is going to be made, and I think we are going to be very successful.
How did you feel when we first walked in there and met Barry, who is the owner
Hmm.
of the arena?
He
Gi-
just looked like the guy in charge automatically. Like I think that people, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but people that take charge stand out. And I think Barry stood out. Like people that are go getters and business minded and leaders, I think just automatically stand out because I knew. I
Okay,
mean, I had never met him, but I knew. He
okay.
was dressed amazing. He was telling people what to do. You just knew.
How about meeting Chella? What was that like for you?
It's kind of the same thing. Chella had an era about her that was like, okay, here's what we need. Let's get it done. Let's direct people. She was dressed the part. She looked like a leader.
And what was it like for you meeting Dominique?
Dominique is sweet and kind and compassionate and sharp, and she fits her position well. She is there to make it all come together and make it look good. And uh, she is just a stunningly beautiful lady.
That was very, very weird. Um, Dominique had something to say to me, and she didn't want to say it in the crowd. So she disappeared with me for just a few minutes. I don't think it was long.
Is it a secret?
It was not really a secret, or we
Okay.
wouldn't be talking about it right
Okay, good.
now. Um, but how did that affect you as I was gone for what, 20, 25 minutes while you all were setting up the stage?
Well, I assume that you had business to attend to. That's what we're there for, business.
The um, the purpose of the question, and that is because we had meetings after meetings after meetings
Hmm.
about it. It appears that we have a small team of 12 people.
Right?
And when I disappear from the group at any particular time,
Hmm.
you seem to get a lot of questions from the team members
Sure.
as to why is Mike um, having a chat with just one person of the team. Um, and I think you can kind of understand the question, and that is when I do something like that, how does it affect the rest of the people?
Hmm.
Specifically, we'll just call it, I think it melts down the thinking process of the rest of the team. Would you disagree with that statement?
but I disagree. I think that every person reacts differently. Certain people are very curious about what you're talking about. Certain people are a bit more possessive. A certain people are not even noticing. I think it's, when you have a lot of people in one room, there's a dynamic that goes on, and each individual has their own thing. So,
With that said, um, there seems to be an amazing connection, amazing energy within our team,
mhm,
and they all want to be in my meetings.
yeah,
Now, they can't all be in my meetings because I have different projects going on.
right.
How do you tell the team and how do you tell the public uh, that I'm really not a mastermind? I'm just a little busybody trying to put things together,
Right.
but it seems to have, there's a direct effect.
Well, that's why you need me. I mean, you look, a boss can only be so many places at once. And there's the CEO and et cetera and so on. And so this is no different. You can only wear so many hats at once, and someone else has to be managing, the rest of the what's going on. So,
You notice that we're building this day by day.
mhm,
It's coming together. Um, you definitely understand that your insurance agency is really the backbone to this project. Um, Explain a little bit about how you put your experience and how you put your thinking from the insurance agency's point of view
sure.
to this project.
Well, with any business, it's about structure and being organized and knowing exactly where you're going. Because without vision, you're not going to get to a destination. In fact, I told Bobby the other day, you get on a bike and you pedal. And if you stop pedaling, your movement will stop and you will not reach your destination. Therefore, you must continue to pedal. But you also have to know where you want to go. And I think that that's what helps keep the project on track is my ability to pedal forward and keep my eye on the focus.
And you obviously have a great passion for this.
I do. I
And
do.
why is that?
Several reasons. I have a desire to be successful financially because I have a personal why, and that why is 72 years old, called my mom. And she raised myself and my brother all her life on her own. And I want to give her a retirement that she so deserves. And so my passion to have financial freedom for that is a huge priority in my life. And because she's 72 and still works in a factory, I'm on a little bit of a time crunch. So I'm looking for the freight train to take me there as quickly as possible. Um, I forgot the question. I got
That's
so
okay.
excited about my why.
That's okay. You came
uh,
up with that. So we're just going to kind of leave it there.
yeah,
I
okay,
think
fair enough. I
what
mean, I'm
I
just,
asked about passion, and
well, that's my driving force, and there isn't any better cause in the world than trying to help people not get disease, and that's why I became a Life Vantage, person too, because I'm passionate about health and wellness and doing the best that I can while I'm on this earth.
and you also have a fondness um, for the Malaluka products.
Yeah.
Just uh,
Well, look, I mean, there's so much poison. People don't realize you stick your hands in a cleaner, your skin is your biggest organ. And immediately that cleaner, that poison is in your system. And, we just take advantage of our bodies and expect it to clean it up and go on. But then all of a sudden we're 60 and, we have disease and scratching our heads to why. Uh, you know,
Okay.
We beat our bodies up and then we don't take care of it and wonder why we're, you know, sick with liver disease or heart disease or, you know, God knows what else.
Now you're really into health, you're into nutrition, you're into exercise. Um, the nutrition part obviously comes from my son,
Yeah,
who
he knows his stuff.
he's very very focused on nutrition. He built
IronBodyUSA.com.
.com.
IronBodyUSA.
You've been on that
It's
website.
amazing. Yeah.
You just saw him publish that website. Give me a little bit of feedback, what you thought of that.
Well, I've known Scotty. I've known his passion in life and bodybuilding and nutrition, and he's spot on. He knows exactly what to do. And so this website is an amazing source of a resource, I should say, of information for people who want to take better care of themselves. I mean, now it's not about fixing the problem after the fact. It's the movement of let's not have a problem. How do we achieve that? Let's not get sick. So Scotty has poured his heart and soul into this website. He's also, dedicated that to his mom, and the dedication is beautiful. There's pictures on there, and it was I think, well done, professional, amazing site.
We seem to get a lot of phone calls.
Hmm.
We get a lot of people from out of town, out of state,
Yes.
calling us um, in some form or another that they've touched one of our tools out there being used on the internet, whether it's Iron Body USA, whether it's the Vincina protocol, WordPress.com.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about the tools that we've been using.
Well, the website, the Vincino protocol.wordpress.com site is a wealth of information. Um, It talks about Lou Gehrig's. It talks about what it is. It talks about resources and how you can tap into those. It talks about NRF2 activation and that what you can do about preventative medicine. It talks about, gosh, there's so much on that website.
You get a lot of phone calls. I seem to get a lot of phone calls almost 24 hours a day.
Yes, you do.
And how do you turn off the telephone at 11 o'clock at night? I mean, you can just fall
Yeah.
asleep at 11 o'clock, and I'm still up um, talking to people, writing notes to give to you in the morning. What's that like? I mean, can you deal with that shit?
Well, there's nights when sometimes my wheels are spinning, but there's just got to be balance for me in my life. I dealt with a lot of serious health issues when I was younger, and just committed to not having that chaos and trying to be balanced. So,
The whole objective now is this meeting that I want to announce
mhm,
that you and I are going to,
mhm,
and it's not going to invite all the people in the team to come with us. This is going to be a very important meeting where we have to keep it to a very short um, proposal so that the client understands. But we've already got the commitment where we're going to connect with a network of 70,000 people.
oh,
And
sorry, my
that's all
cat's
right.
attacking my dog.
Well,
Stop it, you guys.
it's poor Gidget.
Oh, poor Gidget. Leave that kitty alone. Be nice.
So tell me what it's going to be like for you if we close this deal. I mean, we're just not, we never talk about pie in the sky.
Hmm.
We've already got confirmation that they're going to pledge their total support, and that connects with our business model.
Right,
Um, this is going to take a lot of work, and
right.
I think our team members are going to be very excited. And I think this is just going to take more and more time for you to develop um, my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So tell the public what it's like, um, and how they too can help in participating in this project.
Well, well, that's a big question. I mean, there's a lot.
I did that on purpose.
Yeah, there was a lot in there. You know, I don't even know how to begin to answer that. I think getting involved in the Vincina protocol, first of all, you have to be a motivated person and you have to be passionate, I think. Um, and that's what we're looking for. Here's the cool part. We get to pick who we want to work with. You know, there are tons of people out here who see this as an opportunity and know that, we're on the move. And really, like you said, I mean, our phones and the emails and so on. So we're going, I call it my little freight train. You know what I mean? We are, we're on the move here and we are on the fast track to getting the Vincina protocol out and marrying that with an amazing business opportunity. I don't know how much better it could get than that, is doing good in the world and getting to benefit from it at the same time. Like, how much better can you get? You know, you don't have to sacrifice one for the other. It's it's a win for everybody and it's exciting. I don't know. I mean, I'm excited about it. So, and I know that there's some of our team members, are probably doing the same thing, going to bed at night, going, "Oh my gosh, this is," sometimes you just have to shut down the brain because it's exciting and but uh, I don't know if I answered your
Well,
question. I did the best I could.
what it was basically to lead into this question, and that is because this is such a big picture,
Yeah,
because you just cannot ask a simple 7-word question.
yeah,
Uh, People always say this is very complicated,
it is.
and
It's a lot
um,
to it.
we have found a way to teach the public what this complication is all about.
Yes.
Um, we are obviously affecting 11 other lives who are building this project with us, which
Right.
is now called, a very interesting. We're calling it the Dream Team, of course. This, knowing that it's very, very complicated, this broadcast that we're doing without the team members knowing nothing about this broadcast.
Yes.
And so uh, we know that there's all of them have been calling you and me asking a lot of questions. What are we up to? What are we
Yeah.
doing?
Well, I was sick for a couple of days and out of commission, and that stunk. And I apologized to my teammates because I was really sick,
And
but I'm back.
Dominic, well, obviously, Dominique wants to talk to you.
Yeah.
Um, Chella has already talked to you, and she was kind of bold enough to actually do her very own episode, and she's very creative
Yes,
in
she is.
the way she asks questions, and so this next meeting that we do is going to be with Dominique and Chella.
Mhm.
Um, are you going to be prepared to answer their questions? Because I think you have an idea the type of questions they're going to be asking, and
Yeah.
it's the same kind of questions that the public is thinking that do not get a chance of asking these questions. So that's going to put you on a very hot uh, box of questioning. Um, how are you going to handle that? Um, are you going to do the simple thing and just sit in your living room and talk to the girls through this medium, or are you going to do what Chella and Dominique asked you to do, and that is to drive back to Cincinnati and actually do a one-on-one with these girls, uh, giving me the opportunity of sitting back and just watching, and having Barry uh, or Jason or Anthony
Uh-huh.
or Bobby ask you all these questions. How are you going to feel about it's almost uh, bold for them to invite you back to Cincinnati, but will you
Well,
go?
look, I think we're one team, and I think that it's important when you have a team to be transparent. And you know, I'm a pretty open book.
Are you going to answer the questions honestly?
Sure, I will.
And you know how Chella is. She's on a mission,
Yeah.
and she sometimes drifts off from her focal point of the Vincina
Yeah, but
protocol.
that's just because she's passionate and excited.
Good, good. And this will be a great meeting with Dominique because we really didn't get to spend that much time with
Yeah,
Dominique last Sunday.
yeah, we didn't. Yeah, it was a long day.
So look in the camera and look at the possibility of Chella and Dominique reviewing this after they get done with their party tonight.
I think Chell and Dominique ought to come up to Chagrin Falls town.
How
That's
many
what I
times? How many times have I invited them up here?
I don't know, a couple few. At least I know you've invited Chella now. I don't know about Dominique, but
I did the same. In fact, Dominique has been up here in Cuyahoga Falls at the Marriott Hotel
oh, in
do,
Cuyahoga Falls.
doing the act. I think the very similar type meeting that we had. Well, that was about 8 years ago,
Oh,
Wendy. 8 years ago.
so
Um, so with that said, look in
my
this.
animals love me. I'm Dr. Doolittle
You
here.
are. You are.
Yeah.
So tell us. Look at Chella. Look at Dominique, and I want you to present. I want you to accept their challenge. Will you do so?
Bring it on, baby. Bring it on. Bring it on.
So I think what we'll do is we'll end that tonight because obviously Chella's not here, Dominique is not here. I'm not going to get into that storm, but what we are going to, recap is that one, we have now a network of 70,000 people who
Yep.
are completely committed to us.
We need to get on that train and go, baby.
And that's a big thing for us.
In fact, we might even do a train event.
I was waiting for you.
Yeah.
I was
We
waiting for you to say that.
literally get on a train and do an event.
So you will get on a train with the Cincinnati team in a closed, um, I don't know, diner car.
Yeah, it's kind of like a diner car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we are going to hang out in this train because I know the train you're referring to.
Yeah.
And so you're going to say yes on camera tonight
I am.
that you are going to hang out with the Cincinnati team and anyone else who wants to hang out with us. And I don't know how far this train goes, but it basically goes through Cuyahoga.
Cuyahoga Falls. I'm not sure how far it goes either.
I've never been on it.
I've been on it, but it was a long time ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you're interviewed by these ladies, there will be no rules of engagement. Is that correct?
No rules. Bring it all on.
So we'll
Hey,
just
I'm an open book.
we'll wait for Dominique to get this message. We'll wait for Chella to get this message, and we'll end tonight's little conversation. And I just want to thank you, Wendy, for hanging out with me.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, signing out, guys.